guys? It's been a hot minute. Hi! Shadow is finally sending the message, and I immediately cut her off by starting this. I'm loving, and by loving, I mean that sarcastically. I'm sorry for interrupting you. um, Ember, Justin, Shadow, Jay, Miss Gamer Girl 18, all of the gifteds, and I think that's all the people. Mari was here earlier. Hi guys, Mari's here now. Welcome on in. We have a new setup for the stream. We have a hangout. Okay, let's feature Shadow's question because I have cut her off not once, but twice now. As I was saying, she says, what have y'all's meme stims been recently? Mine is, you're not autistic, you're just a little silly, and you cry when you leave the house, but that's unrelated. That's a good one, Shadow. That's a very good one. Meme stims. I don't know that I've had one lately. I just kind of go through all of the ones in my repertoire. I don't know. I'm sure there has to be one that I've had, but I'm not aware of one singular one that's like replaying. I don't know, but that's a very good question, and that's a very good meme stim to have. That's yes. Mari says it's been a good long while, hasn't it? It has been. I haven't seen you guys all year, and by all year, I mean all of last year either. Jay says it has been a while. Miss Gamer Girl 18 says hello from Mr. and Mrs. Umbreon. Woo! Guys, they got married. It was so cool. I'm so happy for you guys. I was there in spirit. I was there on the Facebook thing as well. Didn't quite manage to get the Facebook thing to work on my end, but I was there. I was there. Although I do think, Miss Gamer Girl 18, you might want to change your username to Mrs. Because, you know, you're Mrs. now. Versus, like Justin said earlier, that billboard in the starting scene stream is so cute. Thank you. I thought it was, I came up with that earlier today and I was like, yay. I will say, oh, my cheeks are hurting already. My face is hurting from smiling because I love you guys so much. This is part of the problem why I haven't been streaming is using my face hurts. And it still does. But what a wonderful, wonderful problem to have that I am smiling too much. I am so grateful that that is something I am struggling with out of all the things to struggle with. Shadow says, oh no, existential meme crisis. Yeah, I've been going through a lot of old audio, and like old footage of mine, as you guys might have noticed by the You're Not a Burden video. It is hot in here. I'm gonna turn on, let me turn this on real quick. The fan. I'm gonna turn the fan on. Too much. Just enough that there's some airflow, you know? Anywho, what was I saying? I was saying something. I don't know what I was saying. Existential meme crisis. Oh, I was going through old videos, and so I've been going through like 2019, 2020, 2021 level memes. So they're dredging up from the back of my memory. So that might be why I don't have any recent meme hyperstims, hyperfixation and stim. Bam. But yeah, because very recently I was editing something that was, oh no, the lily, she's broken. And that's an old one. Let's see. Justin says, no new meme stims, need a new one. Jay says, I need a new stim too. Mari says, if the Mario Wonder Bus crashes into us, to die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. Can you... Okay, so, just to clarify, because I've had some minor internet discourse by accident because of how I phrase things, sorry, about, like, when to tag me and stuff. Like, as long as it's like new stuff and not like every single day sort of thing, totally fine if you guys tag me and things. So if you have a meme that you want me to see, feel free to tag me. Justin says we couldn't get the stream to work. We got the video, just need time to edit. Wedding, honeymoon, and holidays all back to back. Wow, that is a lot. Wishing blessings on you as you guys work on that. Shadow says cute. Mari says also here come that boy. Because I looked it up again because of the great meme reset. 2023 isn't that old. 3 years. But Mari, I know that. I don't know. I know the table one from quarantine. At least 2021. That was 4 years, 5 years. I don't know how math works. I don't know how geography works, and I don't know how math works. These are recurring themes for me. Shadow says more like, what meme stems have been playing recently is what my question was, so that qualifies. Shadow says it was 3 years ago, Mari. 3 years ago. Not that long. Jay says, I have been listening to a lot of Paramore recently, but that's not a meme. Shadow says it's old for meme standards. I'm guessing 3 years is old for meme standards. Paramore is like ancient, but also always relevant for meme standards. Paramore's got good music. Do you have any good song recommendations from them, or just yes, anything from Paramore? Mari says I can't fully remember the dark times. I would say you're not alone in that. Ember says math and geography is hard, and that's okay. Heck yeah. If you don't know what maps look like or what flags look like, and you think things are the British flag but remixed, that's okay. Just 2021 being 5 years ago turns to dust. My first video that I published for you guys to see was 2022. So we're getting at the end. It was in like October or November or something of 2022. So granted, it was a while ago, but we're already. This channel is already 3 years old now. Wild. Shadow says, ad quote, I don't know how math works and I don't know how geography works. Yep. Jay says all their album After Laughter is awesome. Heck yeah. Oh no, Shadow, I don't think our Streamlabs is awake. I gotta wake up Streamlabs. Shadow says, to be fair, a lot of flags are British remix.exe. That's fair. That's fair. Mari says, I quote that, do you want some barbecue sauce? And do you want some brownie too? Bad they're beans. Oh, too bad they're beans. Video. Nice. I clearly don't recognize these memes because I'm not able to say it in the cadence of the meme itself, but those are solid. How is the audio, by the way? I tried to set it up so that it is workable. I don't know if I'm actually really loud right now or not because I set it up at like 3 a.m. a week or two ago. So I was trying to be quiet then, and now I'm like, yeah! I was able to do a walk today, and not just one walk, not just 2 walks, but 3 walks. I did 3 walks today. I am feeling great. Probably going to feel terribly tomorrow, but I'm so glad I could do it today. And I am very glad that I can hang out with you guys tonight. Mari says I will tag you in them. Heck yeah, thank you. Alright, chat box. Where are we? Emote, goal. I just want the stream dude. Can I have Cloudbot? There we go. Activate. Come on. Activate. Alrighty. Shadow, you need an extension cord to what your car? You need to do what with your car? I'm sorry, what? Nope. 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 Oh, it's fine, guys. It's fine, guys. Shadow's just gonna vacuum the car. It's fine. It's fine. Any hoodles. Audio is fine. Miss Gamer Girl says, proud of you. Justin says, heck yeah, way to go. Thank you. Ember says 3 walks is great, even if it'll take a toll on you tomorrow. Ember says also that the audio seems fine for me too. Heck yeah. Jay says, oh, okay. I missed you guys. Ember says, Shadow, you broke Lily. Mari says, we broke Lily with the power of being foreign. Shadow knows what Shadow did. She knows what she did. Alright, I said activate Cloudbot and it died on me. How dare! Okay. We still have the gamble minigame. And 8-ball, slots, and duel. And emote pyramid. This is the chaos we miss. I miss you guys too. Xenophobic Lily! Mari! You could probably build a case for that. You could probably definitely build a case for that. And I deeply apologize. Let me go grab my ukulele. JK, don't have one. Actually, I do. I have one I could grab. I don't know if it would be more painful or less painful than a certain apology video featuring a ukulele on the internet. Ember says, Mari, no! Thank you, Ember. Jay says, I have many ideas and not enough time to work on any of them. That's a mood. Aw, ShadowTalon lost 10,000 brain cells and now has 14,085 brain cells. RIP. Dang. Sucks to suck. Your car. Apparently. That's still... No. No, I don't like it. Okay. All of the chaos. See, when I started this, Jace is not the ukulele. Look, there are... If life with ukuleles is an alignment chart from... Sorry, I got distracted with Justin's very cool message. If life is an alignment chart from D&D for ukuleles, some of them are chaotic evil. And I would say, Jay, you fall into the chaotic good, neutral good, lawful good, okay? You are not the same type of ukulele user, okay? There is no ukulele shame of your type. But absolutely ukulele user shame for some people who deserve it. But you don't deserve that shame. I believe in your capacity to do whatever you set your mind to. So if you set your mind to doing that, I'm sure we could make arrangements. But hopefully... And so far, you don't deserve the ukulele shame. That being said, Justin, not gonna self-promo. Come on, I love self-promo. Tell me, guys, tell me everything about all of the things you're doing. Self-promo. Use this. We have the billboard for a reason. That's why I did it, so that you guys can, like, share your stuff. Not gonna self-promo. Please self-promo. But Jessica and I, says Justin, starting new channel soon. Jessica has started It's Gaming while I'm going to do a cozy Twitch. Heck yeah! I'm so excited. That's epic. Please do share. I know you're in the Discord, so please share it in the Discord. And after stream, I will make sure to follow, and then I can share it to the community. Actually, you guys have access to the community tab, so you can do the Discord thing, and then also share it to the community, and it'll be great. Yay! That's so cool. I'm so happy for you guys. It'll be epic. Ember says, what a way to put it, Lily. Bravo. Thank you. Jay says, I'm literally considering whether or not I want to play ukulele on my song because of that. Ah, you're fine, bruh. You're good. There are different... It's like... There are so many different ways to use things. AI being one of them, because I made some videos about that. Can we just appreciate for a second the fact that Spite brought me back to YouTube for a hot minute? I get so mad about AI at my workplace. I ranted for 3 hours and went, oh, some of this could be a YouTube video. And here we are. But yeah, like Justin says, go for it. Take the ukulele back. Do it. Marius says, imagine being lawful anything. Miss Gamer Girl 18 says, I'm starting with Minecraft at the moment. And then I want to do Zelda and more. Heck yeah, let's go. I love Minecraft. I did have to stop. So, speaking of Minecraft, those of you who were playing on the Minecraft realm, I did have to stop doing Minecraft and unsubscribe from the realms. Because the last, like, 4 times I've tried playing Minecraft, it has sent me into a major crash, and it's not... I can't play Minecraft anymore. I don't know why. On Christmas, I played, not go-kart, Mario Kart. I played Mario Kart with a sibling over Christmas, and it was so fun. But after 30 minutes of playing, I just crashed so hard for the rest of the day. So video games are currently off limits for me, but hopefully I'm gonna try and build up my endurance so that I can play games again, because I do love playing games. And I want to try to play other games, so that's actually one of my New Year's resolutions, is to play video games again. That's such a weird one, but it is. It is. Miss Gamer Girl says, love you. Love you guys too. I don't know why I did this. I meant for this. Ember says, I was going to ask about the realm and why we couldn't access it anymore, but I kept forgetting, so I guess this stream is my answer. Yes, I'm so sorry. I also had to quit my job. And that was like $8. Anytime when I get the realm back, it'll be the same exact realm, just as we had it, so you aren't losing anything. But until I find some way around that sort of thing, I can't, like... Yeah, I like to have things where I can monitor it every so often, at least, and even though I trust you guys, it has access to a whole bunch of different people, and I just want to make sure that it's safe, and if I can't monitor it and make sure that it's safe, then I didn't want to have it accessible. So I'm sorry about the lack of information about that. I was... but thank you for understanding and your patience. Minecraft caused your PC to explode. Got it. Not quite, but we can go with that. Sorry to hear, though. Oh, I get it. Yeah, no. When I say crash, sorry, guys. When I say crash, I mean, like, physical health crash. Like, I crashed. My body symptoms crashed so hard I couldn't do stuff for a couple of days. Jay says, thinking of adding a games section to the website. Heck yeah, that would be so cool. Shadow says, burnout is real. I want to be creative again. Yeah. A lot of times I will burn out from creative stuff, and it literally just takes doing absolutely nothing for so long and just feeling the burnout wholly in order to get so bored that I get creative again. And it's such an annoying process. So I hope the process gets to the creative part again soon. Sending love. Mari says, self-promo for what you lot can see. I made Lily's new profile picture. I made a playlist of positive news stories that people can see on my channel. That's about it. Heck yeah! I love that. And yes, you did make my new profile picture, and I love it. And it's still up, and it's great. It's great. Yay! Emberfire says, oh no, it sucks so much too. Yeah. But we're here. I'm feeling better, and I can do this now. Jay says, sorry if that was weird. I don't think so. Justin says, not weird, Blue Jay. Besides, to quote Loose, us weirdos have to stick together. Agreed. Even if it were weird, weirdness is welcome. Speaking of art, burnout, and weirdness, oh, that's the wrong direction. I have an old art piece that I was going to work on. This is from when I was like 14 years old, 15. It was a while ago because I was still doing acrylics. And I had the motivation to actually finish this painting, but it was closer to my art burnout because that one, I think that one, were my, no. This one and that windmill. These two were from my art teacher because I refused to do any more than one. Hashtag burnout. I don't like this photo. It's been around for literally 12 years and I think it's cute, but it's not my style. It's not something I would ever put up in my room. It's not something that sparks joy. When I look at it, all I think about is the memories of being burnt out and doing something that I didn't love anymore, but still forcing myself to do it because that was a thing that I felt like I should enjoy. So today we are memorializing it on stream. We're appreciating it for what it is, and we're acknowledging that it had its time, and we're going to paint over it with some new memories and have some fun because that's the kind of gal I am. Jay said, oh, Roro Molo, who has a fresh free membership. Congratulations. Nice emotes. Says, I somehow got a free membership. Welcome, welcome. Congratulations on your free membership. YouTube allows me to gift everybody 10 free, well, hold up. That's not how it goes. YouTube allows me to gift 10 random people, typically subscribers, a free membership for 1 month. It does not auto renew, so you don't have to worry about it spending your money without your permission. It just means that you get the perks for free out of nowhere. Congratulations. Jay says, whoa. Mari says, decades ago. Only 1 decade. I'm decades old. This is just one. Amber says, ooh, that's so beautiful. Fair, fair. Mari says, goat. Shadow says, art. Justin says, yes. Amber says, it's time for something new to take its place. Heck yeah. And Roro Molo says, oh, yay, thank you so much. You're welcome. I don't get to choose who gets it, so it's completely randomized. But I do get to gift them for free. And I like doing that. Like, I don't get anything financial from that, but it brings me so much joy to see people enjoy the memberships and use the emotes and see the members only stuff. And so I do it because, you know, it's fun, you know? Okay, so we are going to go back to the BRB screen for a hot minute as I set up my camera so that you see this piece of art and less of my face, so I can stop using my facial muscles and you guys can see the art being made. So let's do it. Can you hear me? Okay, I think that works. Let me just make sure that the mic works, because I might have... Yes, it is the correct one. Epic. Oh, why did that happen? Why did Streamlabs just figure that out? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Are we gonna be attacked by the notifications now? Crud. Oh, we don't have the audio anymore. Okay. Okay. I'm fine with that. I don't know why it took Streamlabs so long to realize that I gifted 5 memberships, but yay for that, I guess. Let me adjust this so you can see that a little better. So the mic is over here, and I do not have the audio, the headphones. Audio is clear, we hear you. Fantastic. So, let me just join chat. Let me just join chat. Can I join the live stream, please? Hello? Phone? Any hoodles. There we go. There we go. Now I can see your messages. I'm gonna put you right over here. Bam. Okay. So hopefully that works for everybody. And I am just going to start by painting over and getting a sense for how the paint is going to interact with the rest of the paint on the canvas. Whether I need more water, more paint, or what. So you may be wondering what this art is going to be. Good question. You know that pink cherry tree that's magically grown in the owl house? Oh, gravity works. I don't know if anybody saw that, but, oh my gosh, my face is so big. Hi, guys. But yeah, that magical pink tree that Lumity grow, at the end of Enchanting Gromfright, I think it's season 1 or 2, episode, what, 15, 16? And, it's this place that they go to when they feel alone or need support. It's where they go to for, you know, connection. And I wanted to paint that because it symbolizes reaching out and connection and choosing to overcome loneliness and, you know, doing it on your own. Like, it represents reaching out to friends instead of trying to do it on your own. And that's something that has been really special to me lately. The Grom tree, yes! That is it. So, I wanted to paint, like, in my style, at least. Oh my gosh, I'm so close up. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me do that. I wanted to paint the Grom tree in my style. So, that's what it's gonna be. We're gonna have the cliff coming up here, the tree's gonna be up here and over, and we're gonna see a nice sunset. Jay says, I never talked about this on stream. Haven't talked about what? Do tell. Shadow says, I think it's gonna be purple. Oh my gosh, how'd you know? Ember says, the Grom tree. Yeah. Miss Gamer Girl says, ah! Ember says, hi, close-up Lily. Oh, that's a beautiful choice to paint. Jay says, I discovered Brandi Carlile's music last year. Can't remember when it became, but it has become such a huge part of my life already. That's so cool. I have no clue about that music. I've never heard of it, encountered it, or anything. So I'm glad that you found something that is so meaningful for you. In, I want to say August, maybe? August or September of last year. Or I guess this past August, September, because it's still weird to say last year and mean 2025. I started this support group thing. It's called Freedom Session. It's something that my church offers. And it's basically a weekly get-together that forces you to connect with other people. It's like a 12-step program. It's basically a spiritual 12-step program. And it's forced me out of my comfort zone on a weekly basis to unmask in front of people I normally would have masked in front of, and to, you know, share how I'm actually doing and explore why I'm doing that way. Even if things seem to be doing well, why am I not doing well? Or if things are going well, aren't going well, why am I doing well anyways? Because a lot of times it's reflective of how I'm doing internally, the way that I respond to certain life situations. And that was kind of the first step of many that I've started to take in just committing to more relationship and less isolation. For a lot of my adult life, isolation has been a protective mechanism because of sensory overload and whatnot. And I'm learning to trust people in the midst of sensory overload. And so this tree reminds me of that goal. Shadow says, making happy little trees. Heck yeah. Justin says, I love that idea. Thank you. Shadow says, really? That sounds so great for you. I'm proud of you. Thank you. The downside to that level of commitment, along with doing school and work full-time, is that by the time I got home and I finished with my homework and stuff, I just had absolutely zero energy to do literally anything else. You know, like, my health took a really bad turn early in the year, and then it just kept on getting worse and worse. And even though I committed to this, it didn't mean that my health was any better. It just meant that I was exerting more energy. And so finally, about a month ago, I had to quit my job. And that's why I've been able to be back online. That's why I've been able to, you know, I don't know, share more of my interests, indulge in some of my old habits, be more chronically online than I have in the past year. And so it's what a family friend would call a yay boo, where there's pros and there's cons, and I'm acknowledging and celebrating all aspects of the yay boo. But that's where I've been, and that is the story behind this painting, and I'm probably going to share this painting with the ladies in that support group. Not gonna give it to them. I'm gonna hopefully put it up in my room. But, yeah. That's basically how I've been doing. I don't know how much else I can share without breaking my own rules about, like, sharing medical stuff. I know you guys have said that I can share what I feel comfortable with sharing because it's my channel, but I also want to respect you guys' boundaries and whatnot. I know in some ways it's safer to not share every medical detail, because it is the internet. So, yeah. Ember says, we're so proud of you for all of that and choosing something to paint that symbolizes that for you. Thank you. Justin says, Yahoo, that's a cool name. Or, Yaboo. Yaboo, that's a cool name. Yeah. it originated, or at least the first time I heard about it was when that person was moving, and sorry, I just became aware that you probably heard the painting strokes as I got closer to the mic, and I wanted to see if that was true or not. But, yeah, I think it's okay for you guys. But yeah, the first time I heard of Yebu was when that same person who invented it moved away, and it was a really cool opportunity for them. They were excited to move to the new place, but they were also really sad to move away from the place where they had so many friends and memories and relationships. And so now I like to use that phrase years later. I think I missed Jay's message earlier. Brandy Carlisle is a really cool folk Americana singer. Heck yeah, that's really cool. Alright, we're down to the really sad flowers. Although, I'll be honest, this kind of looks like one of the Minecraft flowers. You know those flowers that open up at night? That's what this one reminds me of. Or maybe a lily, I'm not sure. I was so burnt out I forgot the rules of illusion. I just started painting individual flowers. Yeah. Justin says, sums up perfectly me moving to the US, to be honest. Yeah, there were so many cool opportunities. And those are all the yays, but there's also a boo, because you're leaving behind some stuff, too. And I don't know, I like how it encapsulates so many different aspects. You know, like, for me, quitting my job and choosing to radically rest this winter break, like, I've only recently in the past week started being more active. You know, it's really disappointing because it means my health is worse and I don't feel great, and I've not felt great for a while. But it also means, yay, I get to spend time with people that I really love and care about and I miss hanging out with. It was something, I don't know, it's a yay boo, you know? So, I'm glad that I can have a yay moment with you guys here. Ember says, oh, they are like Minecraft flowers. Yeah. Not anymore. Oh, that's, speaking of, you just, hi guys. What is it? Oh, the meme. So a meme that's in my brain right now is the, hey, wake up. I'm gonna murder you. And it was like, huh? What? And it was like, I just killed all your family. It was like, but I live alone. And then the person's like, what? You live alone? Then who are all those people? I was like, I don't know. It was like, you killed them? They're alive? There's people? It was like, well, not anymore. That's what I'm thinking about for the flowers here. They were flowers? Well, not anymore. Bam. We're almost done. We're almost done painting over this. This is going to be kind of like an underpainting in the sense that I want there to be purple vibes because this is kind of Luce's iconic color. But then also, high-key, I didn't plan it that hard. I just wanted a fresher palette. More even colors. Ember says RIP flowers. Yep. Oh, we're painting on the desk. We're painting on the desk, besties. We're painting. It's getting a new paint job. Alright, what else is new? We are renovating the house. So, you know how right over there is like a major window? Well, we're gonna redo that window, And it's really exciting, except it means I need to redo my whole room so they have access to the entirety of this wall, which is going to be a wee bit rough, because there's a whole bed in the way, and it's where I have my entire stream set up and video editing set up. So I think I'm going to move into my siblings' room, because I'm the only sibling left at home. That was really ominous. I just mean I'm the only one still living at home. But, I think I'm gonna move rooms, and then I might just like it in that room and stay in there, and then this could become like a Florida room, because we live in Florida, and we can have those rooms, you know? I mean, technically every room is a Florida room, if you think about it, but I don't like to think, so I'm just not. Shadow says, pushing up the daisies. Wait. Jay says, had to do something. I'm back now. Heck yeah. I saw notifications. I want to make sure that it wasn't anything urgent, and they made me laugh instead. Oh, I've missed you guys. I love you guys so much. What do I do next? If you guys imagine, like, me and my brain, it's like I have all of these options. You know, like in a game, in a video, you're gonna get close-up Lily. You know how it is? That was such an awkward transition. Hold up, let me do it so that it's clippable. You know how in video games you get dialogue prompts, and you have like dialogue prompt A, something reasonable but not really your choice. Dialogue prompt B, something similarly reasonable but still not your choice, but slightly different. Dialogue C, absolutely ridiculous, out of the park, you really want to check it out even though it's not your ideal prompt, but you want to see what happens. And D, some other totally normal thing that's still not what you want to communicate. My dialogue prompts for what to do next was read chat. Okay, yeah, I've been doing that, but I want something else to do. You know, I was going to do that anyways. Dialogue prompt B, choose the next paint colors. Dialogue prompt C, drink the paint. Dialogue prompt D, put the paint over your head and bathe in it, because it's hair dye. I love intrusive thoughts. Well, that one's not intrusive. This one's just impulsive. I meant to say impulsive, and intrusive came out because my brain was like, it's not intrusive, it's impulsive, you better say the right word, and then the wrong word came out. This has been Close Up with Lily. The part of the show where Lily gets close in your face with an intimidating eye contact. Goodbye. Jay's back now. Heck yeah, welcome back. Ember says, thinking too hard makes my head hurt, so same. Justin says, love how pretty it already looks. Thank you. I think you just like the color. In that case, let me tell you what color it is so you can paint your whole house in. This is Grape Taffy. Hello. Do I need to do the YouTuber focus trick? Yeah, I do. Grape Taffy. Grape Taffy. And just a hint, a touch of Orchid. That's right, Orchid. Good old focus. Orchid. However, that was not a lot. And it was mostly Grape Taffy or Raisin Caramel. Neither of those sound good to me, but, you know, that was what it suggested. Jay says, anyways, Ember says, aw, we love you too. Aw. Justin says, ooh, for those who celebrate, what did you all get on the holidays? Ooh, I got a castle model kit. And I was gonna save that for a stream. But I still don't have a thumbnail for that stream. So We're gonna do that next stream. But that's what I got. Ember says, ah, hi, close-up Lily. Lily, don't bathe in the paint. It's paint, not water, and will not feel good. Bathe, not bath. Also for Christmas, I got a bunch of stuff, but one that stood out was my first pair of noise-canceling headphones, Justin. Heck yeah! Yeah! Noise-canceling headphones for the win. Anyways, Shadow got socks. Heck yeah. What am I looking for? Canva. That's not on my phone. That's on my computer. Jay got a ton of Lego stuff and some finger looping kits. Cool. Alright. We are going to... Thumbnails? Making things easier for myself? I don't know. Branding? My name? I don't know. I have a lot of just like stuff I've been working on. Ah, I found it. I found it. Okay, I have my reference picture now. We have some pink swoopy clouds and then some purple fluffy clouds. And then the cliff kind of juts out here, and there's like ocean back here, and then the tree's gonna come up here and kind of arch over here. So I think I'm gonna do the sky and the sea, and then the cliff, and then the tree. Okay, we got a plan. I have a plan that I will be remembered. I will be great. Just you wait and see. You better wise up, 'cause I'll rise up. Bring on any challenge. And someday soon, I swear, I don't know how or where, but someday soon, I promise you, everyone will see. Someone will notice me. I really hope that worked with the song that's happening on Spotify, because I don't have my headphones on right now. Ember asks, Jay, what is finger looping? Jay responds, it's another craft with yarn, like crocheting, but more accessible for my dexterity issues. Heck yeah, we love accessible. Why is the word accessible not accessible to me? We love accessible hobbies. All right, sky, sea, cliff, tree. Bam. We have a plan. Alright, so sky is going to be purples, darker purples, with hot pinks and a touch of orange. I think if I just go for a coral pink, though, that'll be enough of the yellow that it'll color theory its way through, I think. I'm hoping. I have plum. This is glow-in-the-dark acrylic paint. This is coral pink. Violet. Here we go. This is the purple I was looking for. We also have metallic purple paint, which would be very cool. But I'm going to save for another thing, because I want to use this metallic orchid flash color shift paint for the actual leaves. Along with, you know, hot pink. Glow in the dark. Shadow says, socks keep my feet warm, and you know what weather is like here? Oh my gosh. Actually, the other day in Florida, it got down to 39, while the North and Midwest states were just at 19. And I'm like, bruh, it is January. And we are just 20 degrees warmer than the cold states. Let's go. It was so fun. I stayed in bed all day. It was great. I loved it. Justin says, nice. I got some Pokemon cards, clothes, Fitbit, and from Wifey's family, joint gift, a new phone as my old one wasn't holding a charge. Heck yeah. We love new phones in here. I'm glad you were able to get a new one so that it could hold a charge. Aw, cramp. Did I do what I think I did? Ah. I'm sure it's fine. Ember says, sounds fun and awesome. Love that it's more accessible for you too. Agreed. Like that meme. Approved. 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 Oh, speaking of sound canceling headphones. Bam. Bam. These are from the 2 semesters that I misunderstood what my school said about their financial aid policy. And I thought I had to spend all the money or lose it. So I went to the bookstore, the school bookstore, and they only had so many things you could spend the money on. And you couldn't buy textbooks that you weren't going to use yourself for a class. So it was basically buy books in general. So I got a bunch of D&D stuff. Or buy technology for school. So I invested in a bunch of headphones so I don't ever have to buy them again. And it has been very helpful. Oh my gosh. Highly recommend if you have financial aid that works that way. However, if you don't, and you can just, you know, save it up, don't do that. It's not necessary. It's better to save the money. But I thought I had to spend all the money or lose it, so, you know, I don't regret it. Jay says it's still a bit hard because for some reason I have trouble counting. Mood. Jay says, surprisingly, my coding stuff currently requires less math than finger looping does. Yeah. Shadow and I have a friend. Their name is Selene Art Creations. They do Twitch streams, and they always have us shut up during the counting because they do crocheting. And they're always just like, okay, now I have to do math. So everybody quiet and count with me. And it's so fun. I love their streams. Okay, so this paint I'm noticing is really thin compared to the other paint. I don't know what to do with that. But you're getting big face Lil. Ah! See, in 2024, I got used to you guys calling me Lily. And so I would call myself Lily out of nowhere. But in the past year of real-lifing it, people have called me Millie again. Because that's what my real-life nickname is, Millie. And so now I call myself Millie again. And it's just like, ah! Interesting colors. Ember says, can attest to the 39 thing, Lily, as a fellow Floridian. It was crazy, but also fun because, yes, cold times. Jay says, January always has weird weather. Mari is back. Welcome back. Ember says, bam! Yeah! Justin says, loving the cold. In Australia, it's very hot for the holidays. My mom said it was like 34 Celsius, which is like 80 or 90 Fahrenheit. I don't miss those days. Ember says, yay for the headphone haul. Mari says, it's okay. It's all okay, Millipede. We understand. Millipede was one of my... okay. Big Lily back again for this story. Part of my job was I was a tutor at college. And I was with my old Spanish teacher. Because I was tutoring Spanish at college. And it was super fun. Absolutely dream job. Love doing it. Wish I could have continued. Unfortunately, my body's allergic to doing Spanish. Teaching it, at least. In group settings. Which is what I love doing. That teacher likes to give nicknames. And my nickname became Vermis. Because Vermis is Latin for worm. And worm is short for mealworm. And mealworm was the nickname he came up with. Because a meal, yeah. Meal, mealy, mealy worm, mealworm, worm, vermis. So now I'm canonically worm, as well as frog. You are what you eat, I guess. Big Lily keeps on scaring me. I'm sorry. I can't promise I'll stop doing it, but I am sorry. Let me see if I can... We're gonna turn this off for a second so I can adjust the camera. Okay, I changed the angle. How is that? That is surprisingly stable and straight for having no reference. Okay, so if I do this, I'm still quite big, but it's harder for me to accomplish that, so I hope that works. Ember says, oh wait, I read that. Jay says, trying to get the people at D&D to call me Jay. It's very hard because I'm scared of correcting people. Could you wear one of those "Hi, my name is Jay" things? I know before I was an ally, I was a very, very confused and... let's see if I can get all the phobics in there. Transphobic, xenophobic, homophobic, racist 14-year-old. Yeah. When I say I had an Amity arc, I straight up had an Amity arc. But when my friend asked for us to call them by a different name, I literally needed like a name tag, and I was trying. But that was my first time ever trying. You may be wondering, why would you admit to being all of those things? Those are not great things, because I think sharing your whole story is important, and being honest about where you came from is important. I hope they call you by your name, though. You deserve to be called by your right name. You deserve to be respected. All y'all do. Right pronouns, right name, and treated with respect. That being said, Mari says to me, I can't believe they'd call you that, military. I know, right? Marinette. Ember says, Mari. Justin says, when I was DMing in Australia, I had everyone wear name tags at first to help learn names and pronouns. Maybe you could try that, Blue Jay, if that's something you're comfortable with. We did the same thing. We had the same idea. Let's go. Ember says, poor past Amity. I mean, Lily. Justin says, we love being better and growing here, because same in my younger years. Jay says, it is my D&D character's name, but it's hard to get them to call me it outside of the game. Ember says, yay for trying at least. Good parts, bad parts, in between, they're all part of our stories. Stories. Gah, typing. No, I'm pretty sure stories is the correct typing. You're just too cool for us. You are too cool for us, Ember, but we welcome you here anyways, because we want to have just an oodle of the coolness that you offer by being here. Mara says, it's the power of character growth. Good on you for Millennium Falcon. Am I like Benedict Cucumber Snatch? Is this the new meme? Because I welcome it. I love how I started out with Lily, like, years ago now. Because I want a name that I'll accidentally respond to so it doesn't give away that I'm lying, but not something that people searching to check out my other channel would find. And then I doxed myself to my, well, I doxed my online self to my in-person friends because I kept info dumping. And then I just gave up. And now everybody knows, right? And so I was Lily for a hot minute. But then I was also Millie. And now I'm Vermis, Millennium Falcon, and Millipede. Oh, I love it. Jay says, I do have a bunch of name tags that were for labeling folders. Emberfire says, dang, I'm sorry I'm too cool for y'all. I know, I don't know how you manage it being Emberfire, but you're too cool. Jay says, I will try that next time. Thanks, Justin. Mari says, I was thinking more like Telemachus in Epic, where people keep calling him telemarketing and things. Heck yeah. Okay, so this is far too thin a paint. Maybe if I mix it with the other purple, it'll work. By the way, you guys can absolutely butcher any version of my name. Totally fine with that. That is a bit that I personally enjoy. Does not mean that everybody is, but for me personally, do it. I love it. That was the sound of the paint running out. Mari says I could keep going, Mildew. Bet. Trying to get a nice purple hue that's evenly distributed across. And transitions nicely. There is nothing wrong with transitioning awkwardly or anything, but when it comes to my skylines, I'd like a smoother transition, please. Alright. Stories. Where have I been the past year? Like I said, I was tutoring. You guys know I don't share, like, personal stories from tutoring, but I was thinking about doing, like, Owl House characters as things I've had to say as a tutor, because in finals week, right, where everybody's brains are just dead, something I straight up told a student was, that is an adjective. You cannot conjugate adjectives. And this was after a whole semester of talking about verbs and how that works. And I just have to say, I relate so hard with that struggle. Jay says, have y'all heard of Neocities? That sounds familiar, like Tumblr post familiar, but not like something I know in my list of things that I've learned throughout the years. Do info dump, please. Okay. I think that's a good-ish base to get started with some pink. Because it's gonna go up like this. And then I'm gonna get pink like this. I like this pink. It's like very, I don't know, swoopy, but this pink kind of like disappeared. I think I like applying it. Applying it. And then going and feathering it out. I like that. I definitely like that. I like it. Jay says it is where you will find my website. Cool. Ember says, Jay, when you said that, I thought it was about Neopets, but like Lily said, it sounds familiar. Justin says, same Ember. Gosh, I miss Neopets. Mari says, painting is coming along nicely, Miles Morales. Thank you. Jay says, Neopets is still around, though it is very different from how you may remember it. Jay, are you calling us old? Are you calling us... You're getting close at Millie for this. Are you calling us old? Because you would be right. I'm old. My body is that of an 80-year-old. I was literally told by somebody, no wonder you get along so well with people of all ages. It's because you're a 20-year-old in the body of an 80-year-old. Now, let me clarify. I'm 25. But their point still stands. I have a joint doctor now. I already had a cardiologist, and I'm the youngest patient there, and now I have a rheumatologist, and I'm probably still the youngest patient there. Ember says, I never got into Neopets, though I have heard of it throughout the years, and how dare you call us old, Jay? Jay says, no, I'm just saying it's changed a lot. Uh-huh. Over the years, huh? I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Anyways. That's really cool about your website. I'm very excited to see it. I've been seeing stuff about it, but I've never actually found it. So, thank you for sharing that. And I look forward to checking it out. Okay, next up, we're doing the clouds. The floofy clouds. I embraced the old at 30. Now, 30 is old. I don't know what you're talking about. People have been being far too rude to you, Milano Cookie. Oh, we have another purple. The same shade. I wonder if it's any more congealed. No, it's just the same exact thing. Literally the same exact thing. Alright. They have paint thinners, but I need a paint thickener. Okay. So this is gonna be like dark purple clouds in front of a yellow. So I kind of need... I think I need a whiter background. Oh! You see this? That is old paint. This. Oh. That was a paint peel of the ages. Anyhoodles. I got the Anyhoodles vocal stem back from my Spanish teacher that calls me Vermis. So you'll hear that a lot from me. Justin says, well, 31, but still. Jay says, if any of you are old enough to remember GeoCities, NeoCities is that, but like the new version. It's made by different people. Ember says, ew! I don't know what you're talking about, Ember. That was the most beautiful paint peel ever in recorded history. Also, Jay, that's cool. Thanks for sharing. I don't remember GeoCities. I remember geocaching. We had a geocache near my house, apparently. So I think we're gonna put the horizon right about here. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you guys, while I had you guys, what days work best for you and what times work best for you when it comes to streaming? Does this evening time work on Sundays, or would a Saturday afternoon work better? Because I looked at my statistics, and the most common time for my viewers to be online is Saturday from like 11 to 5. So I'm like, maybe I should check into that. But I don't know. Shadow says, one of my good friends in middle or high school, we joked that his spirit animal was an old man and it fit him. Mari says, Mildred Hubble showing us some ancient paint today. Ember says, if you say so, Lily, but I say, ew, paint peel. That's fair. Mari, how are you coming up with these on the fly? Mari probably has heard some of these. Because Mari is also an M name. This just looks flesh-colored. I don't know if you guys can see it too well on stream, but it's like I'm painting Caucasian flesh here. That's concerning. Mostly because the undertones are so purple, I'm concerned for whoever's skin tone would be like this. Shadow says, I got a new car that lets me play phone audio from my phone through it, and that bump of the mic was very bass boosted. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that I bumped the mic at all. I'm sorry. Justin says, Sundays work well here. Jessica is off work for sure. Sundays are free for me. Heck yeah, Shadow. That's so cool. Sundays are alright. Cool, cool, cool. Also, if you have phone audio through your car, that sounds like prime time for karaoke. And I will always love you. I don't know the rest of the song, but then they freeze to death, even though Jack could have fit on the raft of a door. I like big milkshakes and I cannot lie. I know it's freezing cold, but I have to testify. That sugary milk crushed into cup is just so sweet on my lips and I love it so much. Yeah. Sundays seem to work well for me. Heck yeah. Shadow says, Lamau, I totally cut you off. Oof, Mike peeked there. Oh no. Oh no. And so we all teleporting to Shadows for karaoke road trip? Mari, your dream is coming true. Mari, your dream is coming true. Oh wait, I can adjust that. I can do this. I can do that, and then I shouldn't be cut off anymore. How is this? And I Will! No, I don't want pink. I don't want pink. I want yellow. I want yellow. Yellow, please. If you want Sub-Zero temps, lol. I don't think that can happen. I don't think Sub-Zero temps can happen. I've only seen them 39 and above. Obviously, since I've never experienced it, it must not be true. Ah! Y'all missed a flying yellow paint. That's better. The mic could take the high notes now. Heck yeah. I got trained to do sound at my church. Somewhat. I can't do it yet, but I started to get trained, and I was gonna get to play around with it, and then somebody else had to learn really, really quick, so they got it. And I'm like, fair enough. Fair enough. They are more reliable than I am, so I totally get that. And I was happy for them to learn. Because they've come in clutch several times since learning. Okay, I really don't like the vibe of this. I already know the yellow is too much. I need something softer because I have purple, and yellow is the opposite of purple. I just don't know what, you know? I was gonna do like, oh, I don't know. I'm glad the mic could take high notes. Sub-Zero temps? Nah, I'm good now. Lily, we're in Florida. Justin says, Shadow, we honeymooned in Colorado. We will toast s'mores. Justin, the way you phrase that is sending me, because I know you mean you and Jessica, but it sounds like you're reminding Shadow that the two of you honeymooned. But I'm all for toasting s'mores. Jay says, I told my family that I take voice lessons when I visited them, and they wanted me to do karaoke. Heck yeah! I mean, you sent a sad emoji after that, so maybe not heck yeah, but I would love to hear you do karaoke. I think you would kill it. In the best way. Shadow says, dope. I'll get the cider and cocoa thermos. Heck yeah. Jay says, Justin, when you said the s'mores thing, my dad came into my room and handed me a s'more. Heck yeah. Mari says, oh no, windmill, are you okay? No. But are any of us really? Oh no. Oh no. The painting colors. They're broken. It's fine. I'll just do a nice transition with pink, maybe. I don't know. How do they do this? I don't know. I'm getting really tired out of nowhere. Shadow says mood. Shadow says, ooh, I like the yellow purple. Well, thanks. If my current art teacher says she likes the yellow purple, I'll commit. I'll commit. Only because you said so. Only because you said so, okay? It does need more white to match the reference. It goes from like a whitish yellow to a yellow. Not a yellow to a white. Which is what I was doing. Hey, yeah, I'm going to be driving, so no more chatting, but I'll be listening. Alright, love you, friend. Be safe. Run over all the old ladies. I mean, what? I mean, be safe. Don't run over the old ladies. Have fun listening to the chaos. I'll try to annotate or narrate what I'm doing. Alright. And now I'm dipping my paintbrush. I thought this had a name, but it doesn't. The flathead paintbrush into the white paint to really sell the rest of this horizon, even though I know it doesn't exist for the rest of the painting, because that's going to be blocked by a cliff. The cliff, of course, is a cliff of sanity, in which, if you jump off the cliff of sanity, you will then lose your sanity and be transported to the Princess Bride, where you meet Andre the Giant and a ninja guy called Robert Pirate the Dread. I don't know. And they will have a little Spanish man seeking vengeance for his father's murder. And they will have a very cool sword fight. And then they'll become best friends, win the war. The end. Shadow says it's very sunrise sunset vibes. Oh, yay! Ember says, bye Shadow, be safe. Also, don't run any old ladies. Jay says the mascot of NeoCities is a cat named Penelope, which is fitting because Penelope is Greek for weaver, and NeoCities is a free web hosting platform. Nice! That's a cool transition there between linguistic connections and whatnot. Milligram... what? Milligrammies trying their best to be David Attenborough. Yes, indeed. I can do a good, like, documentary voice if I have a script. Like, I think if I did, like, an audiobook thing, it would be a good content creator. I don't know. I don't know. Would you guys want me to do just reading streams again? I used to do that at college. I'm still in college. Did I tell you guys that? I'm still in college. I just quit my job. And I'm on winter break. So, next week I go back to classes, but they're all online. Anywho. Only David Attenborough can be him, but impressions are good too. Yeah. Alright, I think I need to wash my paintbrush. I don't know why it was so hard to remember the word for paintbrush when it was in my hand. Probably because my brain was just like, yeah, you don't need to know what that is. You have it in your hand. You can gesture to it. We're gonna make room for the rest of language because we have like 2 to pick from right now. And you're trying to learn a 3rd. Psych! That's something I've been doing that I've been enjoying. I did read the Bible through a year last year, and it was cool for a hot minute, but then I got to Leviticus, and then I got to Judges 19, which, by the way, is not child-friendly. Do not read that if you're not prepared for a heck of a inappropriate story. That is wild. And then I got to Song of Solomon, and halfway through Psalms, and basically, there was a lot of the Bible where I was just like, why am I reading this again? I'm so confused and overwhelmed by the content, and I'm so lost. So I'm glad that I read through the Bible in a year. That was one of my goals for last year, and I hit it. But I won't be doing that anytime soon again, because I need to read it in context and not just to read it. Like, I need to, I don't know, study it more than, you know, read it like a story, because there are some crazy stories in there. There's a reason why VeggieTales had such good content all the time, because they had wild stories to go off of, and they were based. But Anyway, so I decided instead of reading through the Bible as a story, I'm going to read it like to practice languages. And so I've been writing down a chunk of the stuff that I'm studying for the day in English, and then I'll take a verse from that and I'll do it in Spanish, and then I'll translate that to Portuguese, and then I'll write it down in French. So I'm practicing 3 languages at once, and that's been really fun. I've been enjoying that, and the consequence of that is my brain thinks that we are trying to speak in all 4 languages at the same time, even though I only know how to speak in 1.5 of those. Infinity C! Hello, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Amber says, same Lily, same. Classes start up again next week for me too, but in person. Oh, bless your heart. Amber says, also beautiful sky so far. Thank you. This is not transitioning how I would have liked it to. I see you've been hard at work with the games so far, Infinity. Are you still in, what is it? Celesti... I forget the name of the game, I'm sorry. It's the strawberry thing. Amber says, I may not have grown up religious, but yes, VeggieTales is da goat, says da goat. Also, hi, newcomer. Also, ignore the extra O. No worries. Infinity actually joined us for a couple streams last year. I just didn't do a lot of streaming, so I understand if y'all don't remember Infinity. Infinity does a lot of gaming. I think they were here for the Minecraft streams that I did last year, though. How you doing? Oh, I just need plain pink, please. Plain pink. There we go. Infinity says, I'm currently redoing the advanced lobby of Celeste Strawberry Jam to actually record it this time. Oh, I'm so sorry. That must be frustrating. Did you get through the entire playthrough and then realize it wasn't recording? Because I hate it when that happens. Oh wait, no, this is the pink I wanted. If you like to talk to tomatoes, if a squash can make you smile, if you like to waltz with potatoes up and down the grocery aisle. I think it was supposed to be produce aisle, but whatever. Do we have a song for you? And I think it's supposed to be show, but whatever also. Dun dun dun, VeggieTales, 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 broccoli, celery, gotta be VeggieTales, cauliflower, sweet and sour, half an hour, VeggieTales. Is half an hour referring to the length of the show, or how long it takes to cook sweet and sour cauliflower? I'm just curious. There's never ever been a show like VeggieTales. There's never ever been a show like VeggieTales. It's time for VeggieTales. We're gonna pull out the fan brush. Jay says, I've been trying to find time to practice Greek, but I've also been listening to a lot of Japanese city pop, so my brain is confused. Yeah. Brains don't register languages as their own separate things. It's just like, is this my first language or my second language? And even if it's your 12th language, it'll get categorized as your second language, and you'll get stuck trying to figure out what to do with it. Unless you're me, apparently, because all of my language teachers have been perplexed by my complete inability to remember anything in any language ever. It's been absolutely funny to witness over the years. Infinity says, I didn't fail to record, just chose not to and then changed my mind. I am happy to replay those levels, except for the tower 16 and the tower. That's the same thing. 16, part of Mango Mesa, though. I have never been so dedicated to a game to understand not wanting to do a level. Unless it's for the first time. But kudos and good luck. Okay, I'm not sure what to do with this. I'm just gonna feather it out. What are some other fun things that I've done over the past year? I really did just commit most of my energy to like work and school. I only recently have I started to branch out again, and that's just because work and school has been something I can't do anymore. I said I was learning how to do sound at church, and that has been fun. And that is true. It's not like the other things were not true, but, you know, just circling back to that. Okay, I think I like these sky details. After that, I might start playing the expert lobby, says in Infinity C. Cool. Jay says, I heard Celeste is really hard. I'm debating whether or not to play it, because I've heard the story is good and the game's difficulty goes with its message. Probably. I've heard a lot of good things about it as well, and I love the game design itself, but I am such a non-gamer that it's just, like, I don't know. I had a health crash just from trying to play Mario Kart, and that was my childhood. And from Minecraft as well. So, like, I don't know. I probably wouldn't try to play that game, but I love supporting people who love playing the games. If they can enjoy playing the game and I can support them quietly in the background, that's like my ideal game playing experience, probably. Okay, so the clouds are gonna go here and kind of be fluffy. And then get bigger. And then kind of get bigger until they go off the canvas. So I'm just gonna do a dabbling technique that I usually do for clouds. And I'm gonna do a little bit of like a, not a basting effect, because I think that's for turkey. But I am going to just quickly fill in the color here where I don't need any texture, I just mainly need color. And then I'll go in with texture after that to get the cloud texture. And then afterwards I'll probably throw in some like highlights and stuff from the sun and the rest of the sunset, but I am just trying to get like an idea where the clouds are going. When I get a stream deck, says Jay, I might play it. Nice. Mari says, when and if I make the ND Lily out of context video, there should be an entire section of just the singing. Ember says, I say this never having played it and experiencing it through seeing playthroughs, lol. Mood. Jay says, oh wait, I remember something I was going to say a while ago. Shoot. Let's go. Infinity says, I am currently playing modded Celeste and not base game Celeste though, so understand that normal Celeste doesn't get as difficult as what I'm currently doing. Of course not. Why would you ever take the easy road out? That is... Why make it easy when you can make it so much harder? I admire your commitment and tenacity. I'm also slightly concerned for you. But I also trust you to do what's best for yourself. And you know what they say? High risk, high reward, right? It's just hope it doesn't turn into, like, gambling level high risk, high reward. Nah. I'm proud of you for challenging yourself. Which hand? Shadow's back. It's hard, but it controls really intuitively, and it helps you develop the needed skills as you play. I say, not having beat the game. Definitely worth trying, though. Infinity says, I do take the easy road. First, at least. That's fair. Okay, so these are the clouds from the show, and you kind of get like bum clouds because you create like bum shapes with the clouds. That's not my... I don't personally like butt clouds. I prefer a little more realistic. You can have butt clouds, but that's not my style. So we're gonna debuttify. We're gonna... I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna make it look a little less like a butt now. I'm now very aware of all of the out-of-context things that I say. And I'm only regretting it partially. Let's see. Being a teacher of sorts, I was a TA who had a lot of teaching contexts in which I performed my duties. I got to work with a lot of students in a group setting where I was instructing a group of students in a group setting, much like a classroom. And that was fun. There was a lot, not as much of 6-7 as I expected, but that might have been canceled out by the fact that I beat them to it and did it so horrifically that they didn't want to do it anymore. Jay says, Brandi Carlile song recommendations. Pride and Joy, The Joke, The Heartache Can Wait, You Without Me, Who Believes in Angels, with Elton John. Ember says, but butt clouds seem more common in cartoon logic, but this is more realistic logic here. Mari says, oh, that needs to go in the comp. Ember says, heh, butt clouds. Infinity says, Strawberry Jam also has a surprisingly smooth difficulty curve as well, though, so it has been easier than expected to get to the harder stuff. That's cool. I like it when it's a good, like, transition between difficulty modes, because... So this is actually a, teaching concept where, like, quite literally, if you don't scaffold things, if you go from, like, novice to intermediate, but there's too big of a gap, you need to kind of staircase it so that people can reasonably go from beginner or novice to intermediate level without getting discouraged, because the goal is for students to do hard things without giving up. And unlike video games, which incite you to just try over and over and over again, school does not, typically. So whenever I hear about a smooth difficulty curve, it always makes me happy. It just makes me happy. Ember says, Mari, no. Ember says, let's go for doing the 6-7 meme badly, I think. I don't know. 6-7 ideas for how to ruin a 15-year-old's life. Let's go. 6-7, more like 67 million ways I could ruin the meme. Let's go. I would just do it so casually, too. I was old enough to be mammed and old enough for using 6-7 to be a punishment. It was great. It was great. I love that level of influence, and now I'm an influencer again. Influence, sir. Infinity says, yes, Celeste is really good at building up difficulty super gradually, so it is good for a newer player to become much better at platforming. I might even get up to Grandmaster difficulty if the current pace keeps up. Heck yeah. Mari says, it's good to have you here, you happy Malaysia. I'm happy to be here. Molasses. Okay. So, we're gonna get down to business on these butt clouds. Right? So, I need to look at clouds. I don't remember what clouds look like. I only see butt clouds now. They've corrupted my brain. Ah! I'm glad adults are starting to say 6-7. No, I'm an adult! I know I'm an adult, but... Sunset fluffy clouds. Here we go. That's too tall. We are not in the sky. Still too tall. That's much better. Okay. I'm glad adults are starting to say 6-7. Infinity says, pinball purgatory scares me though. Mari says, people were starting to say the 6-7 trend was of demonic origin, and honestly, whatever works. But Jesus did the first 6-7. For 6 days, Jesus rested, and on the 7th, for 6 days, God worked and created the world, and on the 7th, he rested. 6-7. Oh my gosh. Like, that's biblical. How can it be demonic? I would get it if it was 666, because that's like a metaphor from, but that's not 666 is actually, so like, in Hebrew, all of the words have number associations, and so 666 was actually just a reference to a word. Like, it wasn't like, ah yes, 666 is like this evil number inherently, like, that's just it's part of the linguistic code. I missed a lot. Infinity says, I thought it was more Eldritch Horror in origin. Mari says, Jay, please tell me you don't say 6-7 on the regular. Ember says, poof, I don't think that's true of the origin of 6-7. If I remember right, it came from Roblox or something, but then again, it's Roblox. The origin of 6-7 came from a... You're getting Big Lily. Hi guys, it's Molasses. Today we're talking about the origins of 6-7. So there is this song, right? And I think it's like a basketball song. And they're talking about, but this guy was 6'7". And then people had that stim in their brains. And so they just started doing the 6'7" because it's a fun stim. And then it became a trend. And then we all died the end. Jay says, my cousin kept saying it over the holidays, and now I stopped myself trying to count up to 8 because I can only hear him. Mari says, also, yes, I know the demonic thing was nonsense. Ember says, back in the day, I know what I said. We had 9 plus 10 equals 21, and 98? Was it 98? I can't remember. And now for the new generation, there's 6-7. Help us all. Shadow says, also, did you know that learning your first language is done with only half your brain for neurotypicals, and all subsequent languages require both sides? A notable exception is people with dyslexia. It requires them to use both sides of their brain for their first language, because of decoding difficulties. Interesting. Numerology. Yeah. Infinity says, I think the 6-7 kid also did a crypto scan. That makes sense. Shadow says, close. It's a rap song that mentions a basketball player. There we go. Mari says, 6 feet tall and super... That is not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was gonna be 7 feet tall, rats on his back when he calls your name. It all fades to black. Yeah, he sees your dreams and feasts on your screams. We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno. I do not say the 6-7 meme. It makes me take psychic damage whenever I hear it. You mean 6-7? This is who I've become as a teacher's aide. It will take me approximately 6 months to get back to the Lily you knew, and there's no going back. The Lily you knew was already a student for like 8 months before she started streaming here. The Lily you knew was severely socially phobic. This Lily has forced her way through the social phobia and become other people's worst social nightmares. I am the phobia. You either die as a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Well, that's true in social situations. And I became the villain. Subscribe for more villainy. I don't know how clouds work. Clouds are just confusing. Ember says, I just got that Bruno song out of my head, and it's back. Shadow says, I have to teach pre-K, and I can't teach them their numbers. Infinity says, I also got Deltarune today. Ooh, I've heard about Deltarune. I've heard so many good things about it. I think you'll really like it. Jay says, keeping up with meme culture is so exhausting nowadays. You're sounding old now, too, Jay. Welcome to the old club. Ember says, I'm so sorry, Shadow. Shadow says, honestly, I don't mind, because there's a lot worse things they could be saying. Mari says, being a teacher made Melage break. Mari says, how do I quotes and add, I am the phobia? As a mod, you can. You do exclamation point, add quote, all one word. Again, that's exclamation point, add quote, all one word. Infinity says, clouds are water dust, I think. Shadow says, I don't know how clouds work. Here's the thing. I know how clouds work in reality, just not in paintings. Okay? I am indeed taking that back. Walk it back now, y'all. 2 info dumps this time. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. I am the phobia. Malaysia 2026. Some of the Deltarune patterns were programmed by devs of Star of Providence, another game I really like. Is Star of Providence the one where you just, like... You, like, became Texas, but you were, like, committing all sorts of galactic crimes and ruining OSHA stuff. Is that the one that you were showing me, like, a couple years ago? I forget. Acornin. How do you remember that? Jay, it has been years. How do you remember quote 20? Justin says, I knew I was old when the TikTok trends confused me. Infinity says, another cool thing about Celeste is that it has really beautiful pixel art. Yes. Quote 31, I don't know how clouds work. Infinity says, no, Star of Providence was not the Texas one. I love that you know what I'm talking about. That was the worst possible description I could have offered, and you still understood. I honestly pity anyone who's had me as a teacher slash tutor, because I deliver psychic damage so much. It truly takes someone well versed in psychic damage to be able to return the favor. And bless them, most of the students that I worked with just didn't have it in them. Texas one was either oxygen not included or Stellaris. Stellaris. Oh wait, maybe it was oxygen not included. Oh, you're right. They both look like that. Ember says, clouds are confusing, both in real life and paintings, though they're still beautiful. Mari says, we remember Malusin, and I remember that sparkly box you gave me in my subconscious. What? What are you talking about? I don't know what I'm doing. I think we're gonna have to just figure it out. What a surprise. Okay, so if I were doing clouds by themselves, I would probably do something over here, and then over here, and then something over here. Because I'm predictable, right? And if I were doing that, I would do left to right. But I would start with a base, which I have. I start with a really dark base, because clouds are really, really heavy, and they all gather because of gravity really flat on the bottom. You would think that they're fluffy all the way down, but no, they're flat on the bottom. And then I would just dance the brush in a color that contrasted the background in some way. Upwards. And I wouldn't worry about making any identifiable shapes. I would just kind of dance it. And then maybe I would fill it in the middle, but I would also dance it around later as well. Look at all that muscle right here, and then the skin that allows me to flex. Like, see how that's just like that? When it's just like this, it's loose. It like dances. Wow, look at it dance. Look at it dance. I know that may be weird, but I don't know. Bodies are so cool. My body dances better than I do. Also, I think society tends to think stuff like that is something you should point out as like embarrassing or hide it or whatever, but so part of me wants to just like, yeah, we're gonna celebrate that because it's a cool thing that bodies do. Objectively, it's cool. What do you mean? What do you mean? My body isn't cool. It keeps me freaking alive. That looks like a cloud. Body positivity is the secret to clouds. Bam. You wouldn't know it because we erased the butt clouds. Infinity says Star of Providence is a roguelite bullet hell shmup. And also, I haven't played the expert lobby of Strawberry Jam yet, but I did try the ultra section of Expert Gym because I wanted to go. Aww. I love going. Ember says bodies are cool. Infinity says bodies are cool until they make me itchy when I'm trying to do difficult gaming stuff. Yikes. That sucks. That sucks. F's in the chat for itchy bodies. Now it kind of looks like lava. Or fur. Ember says bodies are complex machines and unique and again cool until they fall apart or make me itch. Then no, but other than that. I love how we have all of these like, except for this. And we're all just like, yes, except for this. Oh, right, I remember. In watercolor, you go lights to darks. No, darks to lights? Lights to darks. Aw, man, I forget. Watercolor is all about starting with less and adding more. Because once you add something, you can't take it away. But with acrylic, you're just kind of like, you can overwrite anything. So you basically just like can do whatever. So you can start with darks and go to lights. But I'm starting with lights and going to darks. So I'm sure that's fine. Okay, so we got some clouds in here. I think I want to connect some of them. Make them a little softer. Here we go. So we got some clouds. Not a lot, but some. We got F's in the chat. Jay says I got Spirit Fair and Cauldron from the Steam Winter sale yesterday. Heck yeah. Alright. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. So we're doing this. Doing clouds like this. All the pretty clouds walk like this. Walk like this. Walk like this. All the pretty clouds walk like this. Walk like this. Walk like this. I don't know. I don't know how to paint. I think I'm gonna need a break. So before I take a break from this painting, because we are coming back to this, I think I will do a weekly art stream again, is my goal for coming back. is to just do like a weekly stream again. And I'm gonna try and make it on Sundays. But sometimes it may not be a painting stream. Sometimes it may just end up being like a study with me, because school be hard. I know I've promised to study with me stream like 10 million times, but I mean it this time. I was just so overwhelmed with the prospect of like figuring out how to do it that I just didn't do it. I know you guys get that. So before I move on and say goodbye to this painting for now, I am going to really quickly block in the rest of the painting. Infinity says, also due to Alex Muddle and Pure Questions' involvement, Star of Providence is mentioned in one of Deltarune newsletters. Nice. Jay says, making games has been interesting. Heck yeah. Mari says, I watched Wicked Part 1 today. It was amazing. Infinity says, for context on the difficulty, I left off in Strawberry Jam. Mango Mesa took me about 4 hours to beat. Dang. Mari says, this happening right after was great. Aww. I'm glad that you could enjoy Wicked and enjoy time in stream. Okay. So the cliff, I'm just gonna block in, even if I don't actually... Even if I have to paint over it. It's gonna go to right about here. And then there's going to be a bit of a jutting cliff. And then it just kind of goes like this. And then there's more to it. And so on and so forth. But then it's a 3D cliff. So it's not just that. There's also this side, which is slightly lighter. So we're gonna do a nice blue-purple combination here. And then this path that we see, you know what? It's not like this in the show, but I'm gonna make it so that we have some foreground down here, maybe. Because this is a lot of painting, and I didn't honestly give myself a lot to work with. So it's gonna go out to like here. And then this is actually really flat. Okay, so this is working out. This works out. Then I just need maybe a tinge of black to make it darker. Infinity says, actually the painting reminds me of chapter 4 in Celeste visually. Cool. Jay says, I figured out how to make browser games recently, but I have a lot to do before I can actually try it. Nice. We love a process. One of our very own OG people in the community, Captain Pengu, he was a game developer, and I was the beta tester, and I broke so many things. I broke so many things. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you want me as a beta tester, or you just don't ever want me near your game if you're a game developer. But I find the most horrible ways to break a game. Like, I don't mean to, you know? Okay, so I think... this can go like this. I don't know how cliffs work, but at least this time I have an excuse. We have just a list of things I don't know how work. Clouds, but clouds, geography, math, and mountains. So many ideas, so little energy and time. You have a whole lifetime to do these things. You have a whole lifetime. Ember says you did your beta testing job well then. Infinity says breaking so many things is pretty good for a beta tester though, right? I guess so. You test things out to work out possible kinks in the final version. Yeah, but the thing is they wanted me to test if the normal game mechanics worked, and I just didn't get out of the normal UI because I didn't listen to the instructions. So I distracted them with problems they didn't need to fix until like a much later date, because they did a very basic like starting out thing just to work on the basics of the game, and I just got stuck there. They're like, we're not working on this yet, so if you just follow these instructions, we're gonna work on it later. Totally get, we do need to work on this, but later. And I was like, I don't know how to get out of this though. They're like, okay, we're working on it now. How's this? And then I found a different thing to break, and yeah. Guess what? I'm proud of you. I'm glad you are alive. I think you're great, and I hope that you survive with joy and peace and hope in your heart. Whee! The job of a beta tester is to break the game, actually. So if you break the game into pieces, you are doing a really good job. Technically, everyone who comes across the site will be a beta tester. Ember says, same to you, Lily. Thank you. I don't know what I'm doing. Part 756. But that's probably fine. I just want to get enough mountain or a foreground. I'm wondering if I should have done this horizontal. Should I have done this horizontal? I might have, should have. I'll possibly could have. We've got like trees over here. I don't know. Alright, so we get this drop off, and it goes like this. We get another drop off. It goes like this. And then this is the rest of the mountain. Right here. And then the rest is ocean. So nice purple. And then we go back to like foreground blue here. Because that's where we're standing. Oops. Okay. We have an idea. Ember says, beautiful song, by the way. Thank you. Jay says, same to you. Writing songs is also very hard. Yes, it is. I have written so many songs in my head and then tried to actually write them, and it's so hard to actually keep them. Like, it's one thing to just doodle in the air with music. It's a whole nother thing to make sense of the doodling and to capture it in a replicable way. So hard. Kudos to everybody who tries to do that, including you. Jay says, I have a vague idea, but I'm having trouble getting any further than that. Yup. Infinity says it has fallen. Oh no. What? What has fallen and can't get up? Okay, and then we're gonna try ooh, actually it's like a magenta pink vibe. That's like a red. That's like, ooh, that's a pretty color. That's the color that fell earlier. Hi, guys. Recently, I've been listening to the final boss theme of Tuhu 11. The paint has fallen. Ah, yes. Help! The paint's fallen and can't get up. Well, have you tried... I don't know. Alright. So the tree is high-key gorgeous. But we're gonna only do like very little of the tree being visible. This is what I'm doing to the paint, by the way. I don't even know where to begin. And then... okay, so we've got a structure. Jay says it's also kind of hard to pick up my ukulele right now. Yeah. I don't know the last time I picked up my guitar. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. I think it was for an event for that support group I mentioned at the beginning of stream. I think I did music for them. And then that was it. I let social anxiety get the best of me, and I stopped really enjoying art as much when it comes to musical creation in terms of guitaring. But it's also okay that I'm not constantly doing music, because that's more of what I would call like a seasonal hobby. Like, sure, I like to pick it up sometimes, often more times during certain seasons than others. It's not completely random, like I would call it a closet hobby. Like sewing, I would say, is a closet hobby. I have enough stuff to keep stuff in my closet, but I don't do anything with it enough to actually commit to it like a real hobby that I love. So let's see how red works. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, red is exactly the color I needed. It gives just enough depth. Oh, that's gorgeous. Yes, good job, Lily. That is exactly what I wanted from this. I don't remember what I was talking about, but I'm okay with music being a closet hobby. Or a seasonal hobby, sorry. Shadow says, yo! Jay says, maybe I should work on some fan pages next week instead of worrying about the place to put my OC lore. Sure. Yeah! Okay. My dudes, I'm so happy with the development of this. I was so ready to give up like 20 minutes ago. And I'm still gonna try and put this away very soon. But I want to save my thought, so we are finishing with the paint that we have. And accidentally creating more paint, but that's fine. I'm liking this. Yeah, sometimes you just need to do something that you weren't working on. Like, totally ditch the thing you were working on and try some other element that saves your spot. Like, give yourself permission to give up on it. Just, you know, leave yourself something to work with, and you might find, oh, hey, I actually like this different direction. Infinity says, also a new Ultra Kill track released yesterday. Cool. What does that mean? Low key, I want to throw in some oranges here. I think that would work really well. Oh, that's really bright. That's interesting. That's not at all a color that I need for this, but it's gorgeous. Also, when I put my brush down, it's looking like bird footprints. My goodness. Give me some more to work with over here. Sorry for the random mic annoyances. All art goes through an ugly phase. You just have to trust the process. Yeah. Alright, I am going to rinse my brush and use up the rest of this blue just to fill in the rest of the painting blocking out. And then I am gonna commit to coming back to this later. So I just sent the Ultra Kill theme to the Discord. I don't think I would call any of the art ugly throughout the process I saw. Aww, thank you. That's really sweet. Okay. There's some awkward reflections happening where you can't see, like, this part of the painting. I don't know what to do about that, but I'm just gonna finish using up what I have. And maybe do this. Get a little reflection in. Jay says, yeah, I think it's looked great the whole time. Infinity says, it kind of looks like light reflecting on the water. Thanks. It's wet paint. There we go. That's more true representation of what I'm seeing. Justin says, gosh, the art is so cool. Thank you. I'm hoping it reminds people a little bit about the Owl House. And maybe makes you feel a semblance of, like, yeah, this is a good memory. I don't know that I can use the rest of the paint here, but I did use quite a bit of it. I think I might finish with some of the red here. Just get some more deeper color in here. Well, I have the red. Cover up the orange because I didn't like how that worked. Would we like a summary video where I combine the bits of live streams and I turn it into a painting Owl House fan art video? Would that be interesting? Would you like to see a cultivated VOD? Shadow says, ugly in terms of the creator, because you have a vision for the piece, but it really doesn't look like what you want. You just gotta trust the process. Thank you for the clarification for our non-painty people out there. I knew exactly what you were talking about, and that was a beautiful way of explaining it. Because I knew that you weren't calling it ugly. You were just validating my feelings. Which was really important, so thank you. Okay. Infinity says, actually, might I suggest adding some white paint after the blue has dried? I really like how the reflection looks on the painting. That's a good idea. So this lighter purple thing is supposed to be the water. I got tired of it, and the blue is gonna be the base for the greenery, if that makes sense. Because it's like nighttime, so there's gonna be more blues reflected in the green than yellow. But I'm definitely gonna do some of the reflection here. So I'll add some white here just to remind myself it's water, and also use up some more paint, I guess. And yeah, it's very funny. So on my phone, it's a blast from the past because the loading was pretty late. Come on, come on. So it's still in the butt cloud phase on my phone. And so seeing that and then fast forwarding to this is pretty cool to see. It's very cool to see that I have made something. Undeniably, I have made something. And I think I'm a lot happier with this piece than I was with my other piece. Shadow says, "Oh yeah, it's all coming together." Justin says, "I look away to make fresh meatballs and you're not sharing? How dare you?" And it's all coming together. Justin says, "Married to an artist, friends with an artist, so cool. Heck yes to the VOD idea. Yep, appreciate it as a non-artist. It's good to know." Finity says, "I see. In that case, it does make sense to not have as much over the blue if it is going to be grass instead of water. Thanks for the feedback." And Ember says, "It looks gorgeous. The colors complement each other very well, I think." Thanks, guys. Okay, so I am going to make a note about the VOD video so that I remember to do it, because that is one of my goals as a human being, is to actually commit to the things I say I'm committing to. Oh. All right, where's my notebook? Notebook, where are you? Notebook. Oh, there you are. You were hiding, silly notebook. Let me show you guys my notebook. It's embroidered. It's literally like a fabric texture, which is why it has dog hair on it. But then it's got embroidered strawberries on it that have like a really cool texture. And it's so pretty. I love it. And then it's also spiral, and it's got such clean pages. And one of my students actually, I brought this notebook and I was like, "I know you appreciate good stationery." And so I was like, "I'm going to show you what my journal is." And as a thank you gift for me tutoring, she gave me a package of really good pens to use in my notebook. And you know what? I'm enjoying my pens. This isn't the exact pen. I have it in my to-go bag because I like to use the pens when I'm out and about. But alright. Let me see if I can adjust the camera real quick. Okay. We do this. We do this. Now, we do this. And then this. Am I included now? Somewhat? It's a really awkward angle. Sorry, guys. I think that's a little better. Anywho, I am really happy with my notebook. I'm gonna write that down. Then I'm gonna finish reading out chat, but you guys can start a buy train while I'm writing it down, because we've come to the end of stream, my friends. We've come to the end of stream. Okay. Alright, so VOD video edit into painting a house fan art. Slash edit sequence. Coolio. Oh, audio is lower. Thank you. I totally forgot to bring you guys with me. How was that? I'm probably a lot louder now. I'm sorry. Ember says, whoa, cute. Thank you. All right. So I have the VOD note. I fixed the audio. Let's do a goodbye train. Let's do a goodbye train. Thank you guys for joining me. How long has it been? How long have we been going? I can't tell. 2.5 hours. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We're gonna do redeem. Bye. See if that's the way to do it. Oh. Bye. Bye. Bye, guys. I have the music now. It's nice to have the music. Have you enjoyed the music? Bye! Bye! It's good to see you guys. Ember says, thanks for the stream. Have a good week, all. Have a good start to your year. Yes, have a good start to your years, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your patience. I know it's been a long time, and I am so grateful that all of you have stuck around. Bye. Bye. I'm really, really thankful for you guys, and this community is so special to me. Thanks for being here, and I hope to see you many, many more times in 2026. I think majority of us got to say goodbye.